Well, last but certainly not least, we're going to call her our headliner because that's just what we want to do right now, right, Raylene?
I don't want to follow that.
No, right? It's tough.
Don't.
But this is what's so interesting to me is that within a span of an hour and a half, we can laugh and cry, we can celebrate each other, we can be in awe, we can be inspired, and it's so individualized, but it's the human spirit, it's the human condition that we see over and over again that's so beautiful. And so celebrate joy or whatever it is you're going to talk about, Raylene, just as much as we can celebrate in our tears. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Raylene Taskoski. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. She is a speaker, comedian, podcaster, and a direct sales consultant. She's also a wife, a mother, a Grammy, a winery enthusiast, and a bookkeeper. She had an after school detention for taking every single day for 3 years. Wait, for talking, excuse me, not taking. What'd you take? Yeah, what'd you steal? For talking every single day.
Talking.
Yeah. Over the past decade, she's talked to over 10,000 women about sex, and from those conversations, created a stage show called Stand Up Comedy Sex Ed and a motivational keynote called Let's Talk About Sex, the value of open, honest discussions about women's sexual health. If you need someone to talk about sex, seriously or jokingly, hit her up. Or bookkeeping, or grandkids, or cruises. She just loves to talk. Please welcome Raylene.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say is this has happened more than once, and I think people read what they want to read, but it says beekeeping.
Oh, beekeeping. What did I say?
Beekeeping.
So sorry.
Bookkeeping.
I'm having a hard time reading in general tonight.
you,
What's going
you
on?
do not want me to keep your books.
Oh, book. Wait a minute. I got to
It's
read that now.
it's beekeeping.
Beekeeping. Yes, beekeeping.
Yes.
That's way more interesting than bookkeeping.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
All right.
Um, so when my husband and I met in 1994-ish, one of the coolest things about him was that he was a volunteer firefighter and an EMT. And if a call happened while I was with him, I would go with him and sit in the car. And it wasn't long before the bug hit me, and I wanted to be in on the action as well. So I took the EMS course. I joined my local fire department, and Mike and I remained firefighter EMTs until we moved to Florida in 1998. And then when we returned to Connecticut in 2003, we went and recertified as EMTs practically before we even bought our house. And I'm dead serious when I tell you that we bought this house because of its proximity to the fire department. we're exactly 1 mile from the fire department. I had gone back to college when we moved back to Connecticut because the business that I started in Florida didn't appear that it would remain viable up in Connecticut. And since I was really enjoying being an EMT and my mom was a nurse, I thought perhaps nursing would be a good choice. I began taking the prerequisites, and eventually I thought that if I got a job as a patient care technician at the hospital, that would be a good in. So I qualified for the job because I was an EMT. I'd be able to learn on the job. And as an added bonus, it paid well. And as a hospital employee taking nursing classes, they would help pay for the degree once I got into the nursing program. So I applied. In the meantime, I signed up for all my prerequisites. I was going to take an intensive summer biology course to get caught up so that in the fall, I could take a full boat of classes. And I would make sure that my classes would be Monday through Thursday during the day, leaving me available to work at the hospital Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a hard shift to staff because most people want the weekends off. But because I was a stay-at-home mom, those were perfect for me. And then I waited. So right before my summer intensive biology class was due to start, we took a trip down to Florida to visit my in-laws. And when the phone rang and the number was from the hospital, I was so psyched. So I got the interview, and a week later, I went in for the pre-interview, and I told them about the summer intensive. It's going to be the entire month of July, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. till noon. My upcoming fall schedule is Monday through Thursday. I'm available Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Perfect, they said. That's just what we need. I make it to the next step. I meet with the person who would be hiring me. I went in and I told her, I'm doing this summer intensive. the entire month of July, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. till noon. In the fall, my schedule will be Monday through Thursday. I am available Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Perfect. That's exactly what I need. I got the job. I was overjoyed. Finally, I had a path. I had never held a job for more than 6 months in my entire adult life. I had mostly been self-employed because it works for me. But now I'm going to get a college degree. I'm going to get this job. I'm going to make money. I'll be able to contribute financially to the family. I will be respected, because who doesn't respect nurses? They're awesome people. And then they tell me about the orientation. It's for a week, they said, right smack dab in the middle of July. And I thought, do you not remember me telling you that I'm in an intensive summer program from 8 a.m. to noon every single day in the summer? It's biology. This isn't English. I need to be there. So I did my best, and we made a deal that I would go to school and that I would come in late at noon, and that I would do my best to stay up to date with the orientation. And I told my trainers and everyone that I was orienting with how great it was, because I was taking the summer intensive, and in the fall I would be in school Monday through Thursday, and I would be available Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it was going to be perfect because that's what they needed. And I was so excited, and I like to talk. Some of you have only known me for about 5 seconds, but you can believe that I told this to everybody, right? You can just imagine that I was just like, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. This is going to be perfect. I am a chatty person. I will tell you my whole life story if we have 2 cocktails and a half an hour to chat, right? So on Friday, when orientation is over, I meet with the woman who hires me, and she hands me my schedule. And at first, just for a microsecond, I wondered if there was a mistake. And I look at it, and I look at her, and I know this is not a mistake. And I know that I am not going to get my degree in nursing. Sorry. I didn't think this was going to affect me. I am not going to be making that money. I am not going to be contributing to this family, at least as a nurse. And I will not be respected, at least not as a nurse. And I didn't need the next 10 minutes to tell me what I already knew. I just got mean girled. Somewhere along the line, they decided they didn't like me. And they didn't want to work with me. And they couldn't fire me because I'd done nothing wrong. But they could certainly make it known that I was not welcome. And that's how I knew. I was scheduled Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4, the exact hours that I had told them over and over again I couldn't work. But surely that can't be right. It can't be. It must be a mistake, because I'm a good person. I'm a smart person. I'm a hard worker. I did the orientation and the summer intensive class at the same time. I made it work. I proved to you how hard I was willing to work. And I said, I told you I have classes Monday through Thursday, but I'm available on the weekends. And there are times that you just know you're being gaslit. And I swear to you, my friends, she looked me dead in the eye and she said, you never told us that. And I am flabbergasted. From my initial interview, through hiring, through orientation, I told you. And she said, you never said anything to me. And I got in them, and she said, if you can't work that schedule, there are no other shifts for you. So I left, and I got into my car, and I cried. And I called my husband, and I cried. And I called my mother, and I cried. I cried buckets. I cried when I was writing this. And I just cried while I was telling you about it. I felt so lost and so hurt and so angry and so embarrassed. I was so proud that I got that job. So later, when I called the HR person that I had interviewed with to let her know what had happened, she didn't know what had happened, but the person who had hired me told her she was withdrawing the offer of employment because I was mentally unstable. Again, with the gaslighting. All right, but you're thinking, well, okay, well, that's just one hospital. There's plenty in the area. Why did you let that stop you? Well, it was because I knew. I knew. Like, I knew that that wasn't supposed to be my path. I felt like the universe had just given me the biggest stop sign. I would have been a horrible nurse. My memory is not that great. I don't really like dealing with sick people. I'm more of a suck it up, buttercup kind of person. I am fine in a trauma situation. I can hold C-spine with the best of them. I can hold pressure on a bleeder. I can do CPR, and I have done CPR, and keep people calm at an accident scene. But if you give me a difficulty breathing or a sick person, I am useless. Like, I can take blood pressure. I can count the pulse. I can note how many breaths they've taken, but I'm not going to remember it long enough to write it down. And sister, if you barf, I'm barfing right along with you. But the final moment of clarity came a few weeks later because I paid for all those nursing prerequisites, and now I had no interest in pursuing nursing. That desire I had built up had just popped. And it was too late to get a refund, so I was just going to suck up the loss. But Hurricane Katrina had just happened, and they needed firefighter EMTs to come be disaster generalists. So I volunteered, and I headed down to New Orleans to help out. But when I went to withdraw from my classes and I told them where I was going, they counted it as a deployment and gave me all my money back. So that's when I knew, because I have years and years and years of hearing the universe tell me it's got my back. And this little detour cost me nothing but a few tears and a slight dent to my ego. So I took my secretarial skills, my organizing skills, my EMS skills, my computer skills, and my leadership skills down to New Orleans, and I helped as many people as I could in the amount of time that I had. I helped out in all areas that they never expected a FEMA firefighter to be able to help with. I fixed a broken Excel spreadsheet for the top organizer in our recovery area. She asked what I wanted to do. So I was able to bring my whole team down to the center of the disaster. After all, firefighters love to be in the center of action. I used my coordination skills to get 40 firefighters from 10 different fire departments to work together to do all the jobs that needed to be done, just not the fun jobs. 37 of them were men. It was like herding cats. It was the adventure of a lifetime. If I had had that job as a patient care technician, I couldn't have gone. If I had had that job, I would never have been able to become the person I am today. Sure, I might have had a real paycheck, but I wouldn't have gone on 14 free trips. I might have been respected as a nurse, but I never would have spoken to over 10,000 women about sex and changed many, many lives. And yes, even without that job, I was able to contribute to the family finances. I have known for a really long time that I was never supposed to have that job, but I don't think it's never not going to hurt to think about it. Thank you, guys.
See, I told you she was the headliner.
Wow, well done.